Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2017 video. This is a video I wasn't planning on doing. I was planning on waiting to do the North London lines, but I saw this 313 scenario and thought I'd have to give it a little go. It's in the Silverlink colours, which to me look like some sort of Fisher-Price colours, but we'll give it a go anyway. So, this is Armstrong Powerhouse, Class 313, 5 Limit 86, 1520 London Euston to Stratford. Hello driver, you're currently awaiting the road to Camden Road West Junction. You will then run non-stop to Stratford, but this won't be easy ride following the stopping service. Of this line, so keep alert for those yellow and red signals. Enjoy. While I like them, I've just done a scenario on the South London network that had a lot of yellows and they were doing waiting a little bit, but we'll carry on with this regardless. So, let's get this set up. Got a line light. We're going to have to switch power at some point, I'm not sure. I have the manual set up just in case. So this set reset, it's always handy, isn't it? Headlights on. I haven't driven this in a while, you know. I'm just going to check. No. Ah, yes. Marker lights on, tail lights off. Headlights on. Right. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. Do love the 313. Not as a unit to ride on, but as driving it in Train Sim, I do find it incredibly immersive. It just does everything right for me, really. I am also polishing off a beer while I'm in the shed today. Purely because it's the only cold and fizzy thing I had in the house to drink. And it's taken me about 2 and a bit hours to get the baby to sleep tonight. So I deserved a couple. And I had a couple and that wasn't enough, so I had one more. Right. Let's get going. And always hope for the best with this thing, because you never quite know if I've set it up right. Like this. I have set it up right. What haven't I done? Standard, Alan. It's the DRA. I've also just felt my phone vibrate, which I thought, was in my pocket, and it's just vibrated by my feet. So we've got a single yellow just ahead of us. It said we'd be following a stopping service. I'd say I'm not going to be that annoyed at this, because the AWS alert on this is quite meek. I've also, if any of you guys noticed in the, it won't be the last video that goes up, it'll be the one before with the NMT HST. I was getting really, like, the video came out real stuttery at points, and I couldn't quite work out what it is. So this is a bit of a test as well. I've limited my frame rate down to 30, just to see if that makes a difference, because it seemed to be on the higher frame rated routes. It was like loading in, when it was loading in the scenery tiles, it was giving me massive stutters. I'm speeding all over the place. Don't drink and drive, folks. I say that, I've only had 3. Well, not 2 and a sip so far. So I've driven the backdated version of this. I haven't driven the real world nowadays route of this, and it's very pretty. Frame rate wise, I'm doing alright. What I've noticed in this and the South London network and the backdated one is clutter. So in the cess and like the 6 foot, there's like clutter. There's some brute trolleys lying about under an overbridge at one point on the backdated version, and like a mattress I think on the South London network. It's quite cool. It's quite weird. If you ask me to describe what the suburban lines around London I've been on look like, that's pretty much it. Cluttered. Graffitied. See that down here? It's like rubbish. It's brilliant. Don't get me wrong, every railway line has its fair share of rubbish lying along it. .378 Capital Star. I was on one of those actually from Watford to can't remember. I was on my way to Heathrow. Where did I change? Can't remember. Quite nice inside, to be honest with you. It's quite weird sitting across from people in that sort of like, because the seats are along the side, not like facing forward or backwards. They're along the side, which is fucking handy. Am I going to stop it? Come on. Which is quite, I'm sure, is brilliant for commuters and packing people in, but it's not. It just felt a bit weird for me. Not used to it. Especially if you're on the tube every day. It's a bit like being on a tube train. So this is quite cool, sitting under a bridge, waiting for a signal to clear. What's above us? Yeah. It's a nicely detailed route. So have a look at the rubbish like I was talking about there. Right, signal's going to clear now, isn't it? Yeah. I won't lie, I'm quite enjoying this. Got to turn my ambient volume down. I can hear the birds really loud in my ear. So I mean, if I open the window, then it'll be slightly more realistic. The bird noises in train signals remind me, you know, if you've stayed too late at a party and you've got to walk home at like 4 or 5 in the morning, or you're on a night shift and it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, it's like that morning bird sound. So both of them are a bit of a, one's a danger to me and one's a great one, because if it's the end of a night shift and you hear the birds, you're like, yeah, only a few more hours, bonus. And if it's a party, you're like, oh crap, should be in bed by now. My rule since I've turned and got a little bit older is I need to be in bed before daylight. Detail on the platform's lovely as well. Chain link fences are really nice. That's quite a short signal section there, to be fair. This would be a cracking scenario to learn without the HUD. These signals are keeping you well in check. It's got the London Overground added on vinyls. Not in service. I'm guessing we're ECS on this. Love that noise. We definitely are ECS because there's no people in the train. Oh, that's clever. So I'm guessing if you put the not in service destination blind in the scenario creator, editor, it gives you it without any passengers in it. I may be completely wrong, but I like to think that that would be something that Armstrong Powerhouse would do. It's a shame we're going to be losing the 313s completely soon. It really won't be long, I don't reckon. It'll be the Crossrail things that are replacing these, or it'll be the Crossrail ones, wouldn't it? Also, another reason I quite like this pack is I got the 59 with it. Now, I'd bought the 59 before and got rid of it pretty quickly. I was no real fan of it. But Brad from BH Reskins did the National Power livery on it, and that's one of my favourites. So I was quite happy to get it. And now I've got the Armstrong Powerhouse. Is it the JNAs? JNAs? I'm no wagon expert, but there's a National Power livery in those. And I did have a little play. I put a pretty prototypical consist on it, and it felt like I couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding, if I'm honest. Is that like the world's shortest signal section? Where is that? I'd love to know where that is. I bet one of you guys will know. I quite like trying out new routes. It's a little bit like, it's exploring a bit, isn't it? I mean, where does that bit to the right there go? Because that's a steep old bit of gradient, that. That's good enough. I'd love to tell you all the station names we're passing, but I've no idea. We're only 2 miles from Stratford, which is a station I do know. It's the second line I use to get into London. I usually do Cambridge to King's Cross, but if I have to, I'll go to Liverpool Street. My brother was telling me the other week that the last train from Liverpool Street, I think, is slightly later than King's Cross as well, which I didn't know or have looked into to check, to be honest with you. It's quite nice driving and having a beer. I'm not going to moan. I was quite lucky. There was loads left over. We had a party on Saturday. It's my daughter's second birthday and christening in one day. Not that I'm particularly religious, but we had a very good late night, and everybody brought something, so there was plenty left. So much so that I sent people home with some the next morning, those that stayed, just to stop me drinking them all. But I'm probably left with about 3 or 4 cases. And a good selection too. I've got some lager, I've got some nice ales, I've got some of a friend of mine's homebrew as well, which was lovely. My homebrew hasn't quite settled enough yet. It's just clearing now. I was hoping I'd have it ready for the party, but it wasn't getting there. My fermentation was a little bit slow. Get your hands up, boys. I don't know why I find red signals, stopping at reds, less frustrating than stopping at stations. Does anybody else find that? think it's because with stations you're always trying to work out your stopping point. Whereas red signals, you kind of know where your stopping point is because it's there. And lit up, which means you can see it a bit earlier. Oh, is that weird? That is that weird thing at the Olympic Park. Oh, did you see that? Look. Stadium, no stadium. Stadium, no stadium. Again, that's me because I've got my view distance turned down a little bit. Which I shouldn't really have, to be honest with you. It's scenery popping in is one of my bugbears. Look at the cant on this bridge, like that. Don't get ahead of yourself, Alan. I saw the 40, so I had 40 in my head and then started accelerating and went, oh, no. Not yet. Tell you what, I haven't seen much progress on recently. I say recently, probably in the last about 2 months, is the 315 from Wagons. Their Facebook page is usually pretty good at giving you an update every now and again about how they're getting on, but I just haven't quite seen one. I do kind of look forward to it. That will help complete the Great Eastern Main Lines as well, and open up a load of scenario potential for the starting of that. It's up to Shenfield they go, I think. DLR lines next to us. Tell you what I do, I've just sort of thought about, I mean, it's crossed my mind before, but I just thought about it again now. These sort of suburban lines you're doing, or urban lines, are easy on the scenario creating because you haven't got to have 1,000,000,001 assets. You haven't got to have 1,000,000,001 different types of train because they're all pretty standardised. And I mean, if you're on a budget, I think North London Lines and Goblin was on a linked, mashed together route quite cheap recently. I just was too proud to buy it because I don't drive this stuff, and then end up paying. To be fair, I can't remember how much I paid for this. I got it in some bundle deal, 14 quid or something. Part of the complete my collection thing from DTG. So yeah, if you're on a tight budget and you want scenarios that you can use pretty much out the box, go for like this South London network, all of that. You get something like the East Coast Main Line South, you've got to add in loads. You go something like West Coast Main Line over Shap, yeah, you can use the stock that comes with it, but to bring it up to modern day standard and stock, there's loads that you could need to have. Well, I must say, I enjoyed that a lot. I would do it again. Quite happily. So, once again guys, thanks ever so much for watching. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe the video. And I will catch you guys soon.